Backpacking is difficult. You got to carry your food, your water, your shelter, and everything else. And I'm attempting to do this with a hammock. So I'm trying to go as light as possible, and I'm also testing out some new gear as well. So I don't know, we'll see how this trip goes. Already it's about 9 o'clock. We've been hiking for about an hour. Just got up here, it's late, but that's what we had to do in order to make it out here. But I'm very excited to test out some of this new equipment, and hope you guys enjoy the video. Yeah, buddy. Hey, this is Coach Bill, 3-on-5, and I just got back from a great, amazing backpacking trip using all this gear behind me. And I'm doing like a different style of like videos. I'm actually taking all this equipment that you see behind me, and I'm taking it out in the field, and I'm doing like a gear list review. But first I show everything, like how I use it, and then you can get a better understanding on why I might make some changes. So at the very end of this whole video, I'm going to go into detail on each and every single piece and tell you like my thoughts. Like, should I bring this? Is this ultralight hammock camping? Is it something that I enjoy? Is there things that I need to change? Because this only weighs 7.6 pounds, which is the lightest I've ever had in my entire backpacking career. So I'm actually pretty pleased with myself, but there's some changes that I need to do as well. But I hope you guys enjoy the whole video. This is Coach Bill, 3-on-5.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy.
So one of the pieces of equipment that I decided to take on this trip was the Cuban fiber rain set. So I'm wearing a Timmermade rain jacket. It's kind of like a sweater vest type thing that you put over you, and then you got this little quarter zip. And to go along with it, I got some Cuban fiber Zpacks rain kilt. You can see that I got some ventilation in my legs, and you see that? Yeah, buddy. Look at me dance. Oh yeah. I've noticed a couple things about it already. I have a lot of ventilation going on with the Zpacks kilt, so I'm liking it. Now, if the temperatures were a bit colder, I probably would enjoy my rain pants, but these weigh about the same. They're about 2 ounces versus my Enlighten Equiment rain pants or wind pants. So I am liking these, and there's another feature why I like these, but I'll show you when I get everything set up, when we get to camp, and I can actually give you a little bit more detail on everything. And another feature that I like about my Cuban fiber rain jacket, never mind, I don't have zip pits. I thought I might. I don't know. I haven't worn this thing in a long time. And I got the beautiful Misc. She's hanging out with us. And she got her rain jacket, and we're gonna find camp soon. Oh yeah, do the dance, do the dance. Shake it. Yep, 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 yep. All right, so looks like we found camp, and what we're probably gonna do is we're gonna set up on this tree right here and that tree, and Misc is gonna set up on this tree and that tree, so we get a nice little triangle going on, and we can still kind of hang out at camp. There's no water maker, so that's a good thing. You know, looks like we can start setting up stuff, and it's not even raining. All right, so we got everything set up. I just want to go over some of the fun facts. I'm using the Whoopee system. It's kind of a more difficult system than I like using, but it weighs a little less than the straps. And what you do is you take this part right here, and it all goes through this little part, and if you pull this up, it'll go ahead and make this a little bit tighter. And we just have the straps right around the tree right here. I will say that the Whoopee system is a little bit more finicky, and I really don't have a whole lot of savings when weight savings when using these, and I do prefer using these straps way better. But I wanted to try something new that I haven't tried in a long time, and sometimes you just gotta try it again and just realize that no, it doesn't really work that well. And one of the main flaws, if you look at the way that her stuff is set up, like it's so close. We're looking at maybe about 2 feet right there, and then mine, I have to be pretty far away. Like that's almost 3 feet, and I can only go a little bit closer. Like I can only zip this up like another 5 more inches, because you don't want to go to the very top, because if you get to the very top, it's really hard to get this undone. You don't need all that extra distance, because my ridge line that I'm using for my rainfly doesn't go that far. So there's no point of having a really long strap if your rainfly doesn't go that far. Then I just got the different pull outs, and I do prefer these clips way better. These actually make your stuff so much easier to tighten. So you just take it and see it's loose, and then you just bring it all the way up, and it works very well. Now sometimes you can't go super close, so you just gotta reach it out a little bit further. And I was trying something new on this rainfly, and you can see the other tighteners, and I don't like these. See that slack right there? And I get that a lot more with these. So I tried to tighten it, and they don't stay tight. Sometimes this little piece comes loose, and you see it right there. Like if it's not locked in all the way, this part starts to slide. So make sure when you tighten up using these right here that it's in line and stuck right in there. Because if not, like say for example, you tighten it like this, you tighten it from the side, and it's just gonna loosen up like that. Okay, so tighten it like so down, and try to get that thing locked. And I'm trying to do it with one hand, of course. And there we go. I think it's right in there. Yep. And you can see that I'm using a 3/4 Hammock Gear underquilt, and this is rated 40 degrees right here. This is the Phoenix. And Josmic. Hello, Josmic.
Hello.
She's actually using the full length one right there, and that is the 20-degree barrel, I believe. But she's cooking some food, and now I'm about to boil some water as well. And this is, I wanted to bring this up, that Cuban fiber rain kilt. This is another reason why I enjoy it so much. It's a nice little organizer when you're putting all your stuff, because all your stuff kind of like falls all over, and you kind of want your pack kind of empty, and you want to be able to get to your clothes. So I like having this little system where you can put something out, and this doubles as that nice little organizing system. So that's why I was choosing the kilt over, I mean the rain kilt over those rain pants. 1111, make a wish. So this is the cook system that I'm using, and this is something new. So get ready to be amazed. Well, it's not the titanium cup right here. Oh, you got to boil, sweetie. So I'm using, well, a Tokes 55 milliliter cup. What I'm excited to show off is this. This is something that I used maybe about 2 years ago, and I enjoyed it, but it doesn't go on all my backpacking trips because there's some flaws. But let's go ahead and just play around with it. So what these things are, they're these little bricks, and they're saturated with alcohol. So if I touch them, I can feel like a little alcohol coming off. And what you do is you put some alcohol in here, and you put these rocks in there, and it'll soak up everything. So it also comes along with this piece right here, and this will allow it to like reflect right back at you and provide more heat, like a little what is it, insulation barrier. Go ahead and give this a nice little light, and you can see it bloom, and it's pretty warm. And then I'll take some water, dump it right in here, and you can just put it right on there. You don't have to wait long. It should be good. Put the top on, and you can kind of see it's a little finicky, and I can put this around there, but first I want to show off what the bottom looks like. There should be a flame under there. Yep. Maybe if I turn off the light. But, oh, there we go. Oh yeah, that does look pretty cool. And that flame hits this perfectly. And what you'll do is just put this right around, and that acts like a windscreen. And we'll just wait about a couple minutes, and we'll get a boil. Right now it's 11:17, and we'll see how long it takes for a boil. Oh, and problem number one. I didn't catch it on film because I wasn't filming, but it just tipped over. So we'll move this back on top, and we'll put some more water in there. I kind of knew that it was a little finicky, but you can see how this could be a nuisance, and it's one of the reasons why I stopped using it. But I do like the idea of it. 11:19. New boil. All right. This is going on 11:23, and we have another spillage. Now, good thing is, if you want to put these out, it's really simple to put them out. But what I'm not happy is that I just dumped my water all over. For the second time, I had a boil, and it fell on me. So I'm going to come up with another solution. What that is, I don't know. All right, these things are a little hot, but I'm going to use the other ones, and maybe I'll just try one and see if I can get a boil with just one. Usually I use two, and I usually have a better outcome. But you know what? I'll give it a little bit extra height. There we go. I use 1.5. So again, we'll have to light it, and put some more water into this. Okay. All right, that should be fine. Okay. All right, we've got the flame going again. Almost used the whole liter for this boil. And just so you can see the light, it's cruising. All right, we'll put this back on there. Seems like it's pretty good. I think I was pretty close to a boil, and it just started shaking. All right, I mean, you can see that it's kind of wobbly. All right, that should be better. And again, I want to maximize heat, so we'll put that right around there. All right, test number 3, 11:26.5. Okay, It was about 7 minutes, and I didn't get a full boil. It's still really hot. I think if I used 2 of those, 2 full ones, I probably could have got a better boil. But I'm not gonna mess with this any longer because it is time to eat some chili mac, and it's going on 11:35. It's kind of late. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this really warm water, dump it into my freezer bag, zip this up, kind of mix it around a little bit. Yeah, it's still pretty warm. Yeah, like I can't hold on to that. And then I'll put it into my Big Sky International cooking pouch. And I love this cooking pouch. And I'll let this sit for another 10-15 minutes. And I should have some dinner. So, wow, it's going to be a late night dinner. Okay, these are still a little warm. It's not a big deal. But what I'm going to do is put them back in here. And I'll let the alcohol soak in. Already dumped some in there. But you can actually, oh, got some on my hands. You tried using some plumber's tape to seal that, but obviously that didn't work. This thing has been quite the problem. I think it just takes some getting used to. I mean, obviously I'm having a lot of faults right now, but I feel like if you get the system down, it is a good system. It's just I'm not showing it correctly because I'm still very new to these little rocks, these little bricks. But you can see that the alcohol absorbed pretty fast, and the plumber's tape is really no good. I'm just going to throw that away. But what I'll do is turn these upside down, and I'll add a little bit more alcohol. I did bring a bunch with me, and I'll just dump a little bit in there. Maybe a little bit more. Okay, that should be plenty. Tighten it back up, and you can see it almost soaking up pretty fast. Like you don't see it on the side. I don't want to turn it upside down because it seems like it's leaking. That's why I keep it in another plastic bag just in case. Alright, well, it soaked it up pretty good. Someone's tired. Aww. Alright, let's check to see if this is ready. It's almost midnight. Let's eat. We're gonna test to see if our food is ready. Looks like Jasmine is just waking up again. So this looks pretty decent, nice and soft, but we gotta taste it to actually see if it's any good. This is chili mac, one of my favorite mountain houses. Now you can actually get this in the big cans, and you can put them in these nice little freezer bags and save yourself some money and some weight. But moment of truth. So let's taste it. Oh yeah. This actually looks pretty good. Alright. Looks good. I knew it was going to be good. I love this meal. Look, that's a lot of meatball right there. Well, I'm sure that you don't want to just watch me just eat the whole time. So, I'm going to eat. So, bon appetit. Yeah. If anything cool happens, I'll report it. Alright, well, it's pretty late. We tried watching a movie. You're falling asleep, so we're gonna go to bed, seeing that we were already sleeping. So, good night, y'all, and we'll see you in the morning. Good night. Alright, so we're gonna pull this out and attempt to boil some water on the first try. And yeah, that looks pretty good. That's pretty flat. And then we'll take 2, stack them up, go ahead and get a light. Perfect. Everything going as planned. Okay. And then that looks pretty good. Pretty happy with that. Put the lid on. I'm gonna give it a little push. Make sure that it's in there pretty good. Put the windscreen around. And we'll just let this thing go to a boil. Alright, so we have a boil. It's about 6 minutes. And look at that. Not too shabby. So, this might be a little hot because the flame is coming off to the side. So when you pinch it, just grab it to the top. And it's still going. So, all you need to do is just separate them. Then, see, it doesn't spill anywhere. That's what I also like about these right here. Then give it a nice little blow. And they're out. So I actually brought 2 knives. And I know that I don't need to bring 2 knives. But this one fell into my little pouch that I bring. And I actually forgot that it was in there. This is a knockoff version of the mini Swiss Army knife, and this is only like $8. And the reason why I like these is not because of the knife, it's because of the scissors. I use the scissors a lot more on this than anything. I know I just lit these, but I just want to see if I can light them again and see if I can get like maybe like another boil if I wanted to. So it looks like it's pretty much, these are pretty much dead. So I get 2 stones per boil. Yeah, I'm not getting anything. Alright, good to know. Just testing it out. Alright, so we need to pack up, and I'm going to pack up the rainfly. It's not really raining. It's actually, there's just like little drizzle that's going on. It's more like the water from when it did rain. It looks like when it blows, it comes down a little bit more. But we're going to pack up the rainfly just so I can show you on how I pack up the rainfly. So I'm going to undo. I hope it's not. Is it getting ready to rain? It feels like it's getting ready to rain, right? Okay. Well, I can still do it fast. That's a good thing about this system. You can do it fast. So I'm going to grab all the 10 stakes. Alright, I got all the 10 stakes. And I'll just put them in my little stuff stack. Now, this stuff stack is nothing fancy. These 10 stakes, nothing fancy. They're just very light. These are the shepherd hooks. And this is what I like. They're only about 6 inches, titanium, light. They do the trick. I don't need those MSR groundhogs. I don't like cleaning off all the dirt. That's why I really like just the shepherd hooks. That's my preference. I know other people will argue all day long. I tried them both. This is what I like. Then what I'll do is I'll take the rainfly and give it a nice little shake. Try to get all that extra water off. I'll take all the strings and I'll bring them right towards the middle of the tent. And I'll wrap up one side. Then I'll take the other strings. Again, putting them all in the middle. And I'm just going to wrap this so it's nice and kind of tight. Doesn't have to be super tight. Then I take the snake skin and I slide it down. Then I come back over here where the other strings are, the tie outs. Wrap those up. Grab the other strings for the doors. Wrap those up. And this system is great. I really enjoy using the snake skins. It makes it very easy. Whoops, it fell down. No biggie, just show it again. Put them in there, wrap it up. And the reason why I really enjoy the snake skins versus like putting them in a stuff sack, because you can actually set everything up, and you can, if I wanted to, I could just leave this in this mode right here if I wanted to. And then if it started raining, I could go ahead and deploy it. So you can always set it up. It's pretty simple to set up. Wrap this all the way down. And then I'll take, let's see, I usually take this end first. And I'll unhook this, and I'll kind of give you a close-up what I do. All right, so we'll just demonstrate right on this tree. So I go around. Oops, caught on my foot. And you have this right here, okay? You have this, and if there's a little slack in it, you put it around this hook, and you tighten it so it gets nice and tight. And what you do is, once it's nice and tight, you take this and you lock it around so it can't move. And this way you don't need any knots. And the reason why I don't like knots when you're out there backpacking, because say if it was cold outside, and if it rains or freezes, and then you're trying to do all the stuff with your fingers that are hard to do anything with, and then yet you have this knot that you need to undo and unfreeze. But just to undo it, you just take it, go around, and let it deploy. Okay, so I really like this method. And when I wrap everything up, I do figure 8 style, put it around, and I just keep on crisscrossing or figure 8ing all the way till I get to the very end. And I take it and I stuff it right into the little pouch, and I just take it and fold it, roll it up. And this is a little wet from all night long, so what I'll do is I actually will keep my rain fly on the outside of my pack, because this will allow it to dry off a bit faster if I was hiking all day long, which I'm not. I'm only doing like I think we're only doing like 4 miles today. But you would keep this on the outside of your pack, and plus the water from this is not going to drip onto your other stuff. So I have this in a nice little ball, and I'll just take it with the other string, wrap it around, and then the last part, tie it off. I am going to detach my underquilt before I detach my hammock. And I'm not using a stuff sack. I'm actually trying to save some weight and not use the stuff sack. And I kind of got into this habit of not using stuff sacks, just because this is one extra thing that I have to like pack up. And I just put it all into my bag. And I got this pretty much compact garbage bag in here. It's some fancy name. It's like a $7 garbage bag, but it's the same thing. So that's taken care of. And I'm sorry to just jump all over the place, but this is how I keep all my stuff. All my clothes, all my stuff that I don't want wet, my socks, my puffy jacket, my hammock, my sleeping bag, my underquilt, top quilt, all go right in there. Now I need to take this apart. So I know last night when I was trying to display the whoopies, it was kind of hard because, for one, it was late. The reason why I'm not a big fan, so if I wanted to get this any tighter, I only have about 2 inches where I can go ahead and make this tighter. So if I take this, make it tight, and now I have almost like one small little like finger hole. And if this goes all the way to the top, it is so hard to undo it. You don't want to tighten it up all the way. So that's one of my problems that I have with the whoopee system. The tree is probably about 3 feet away. So I can't get this any closer. I mean, I could wrap this a couple of times around there and try to like do something like that. But I have to make sure that my trees are so far apart. I'm probably about maybe 20 feet away from this tree. And usually I like going about like 13 feet away. So I'm actually a lot further than I typically go. But to loosen this, just go to one side. And if you want to tighten it, you take it, you can pull it like this. So it is an easy system to use. But I mean, when you have those straps, you can tighten it all the way up. Like this strap right here, if you wanted, you could tighten it all the way up. Yep, I haven't used this pack in a long time too. This is the Zpacks, what is it? 38 liter, the Nero, the original model. It weighs like 9 ounces, 10 ounces, if you include the sit pad. It's a very minimalist pack. Doesn't have much with it. It doesn't have the hip belts, so you can actually feel this pack more on you, like in your shoulders. Even when I was just hiking like last night for like the 4 hours, so I could definitely feel the weight a lot more. You might be asking yourself, why do I have this tape on here? Because I had a little accident when I was using a bear canister on a longer hike. I think I took it for like 4 days, and I needed a bear canister, and it's really hard to fit a bear canister in this, and I couldn't fit it on top. So it does fit a bear canister. You just got to drop it down, and right there is kind of the circle. I don't recommend doing it because it kind of damages your pack. This is my tripod that I decided to use on this trip. Weighs like an ounce, but I'm trying to go as minimum as possible on some of these backpacking trips. And I keep all my camera gear, which is like my mics in here and that. So nothing really in here, not even my keys, just camera stuff. And again, big shout out to my man Jason for making this for me. He's the best backpacker ever. He actually handmade this. So thanks, man. I appreciate it. Still rock it. All right. Well, it says no trespassing, and we're gonna respect the private owners. But if you look back there, that looks really cool. You got like a little picnic table with a foundation with some steps. Then you got chimney over there. I'm really curious what's over there. And then it looks like they have some kind of irrigation system. I'm not sure what, but it's fenced off. And we just randomly found this area. Alright, so we're gonna do some bushwhacking. We see something off in the distance, so try to hike down here and then in the neck of that type stuff. We saw something shiny, so I just gotta go ahead and say that I took a look at it because I'm not sure what it is. It could just be flowers, could be some rocks. Who knows what it is? But we're gonna take a look and hopefully we find something cool. If not, I can at least say that we took a look at it. Alright, well, definitely found something. For one, there's trail maintenance right here. Alright, I'm whispering. Might be a spot for them to hunt. Right there is a chair. And they have this whole field out here. Oh yeah, John Smith is correct. So you can kind of see a little stand right there, and that's for hunting. And right there's the ladder. You can hardly even see it. Right there's the ladder. Then you climb right there. And just as I expected, they're using this area just to hunt. Okay, well, let's get off the trail. This is like probably private property now. Alright, it's about 12:30. We just got back to the truck and we did about 8 miles, maybe like 7.5. But good trip, we did it. Yeah, buddy, thanks for watching the video. Thanks for watching the whole video. Now, the most important part, let's talk about the gear. Okay, so this is my gear list that I used in this video, the Ultralight Hammock gear list. So first, we are going to take a look at the Zpacks 38 Nero, and I've used this for quite a few years. In my experience from using this, it only holds about 3 to 4 days worth of food. If you move into day number 5, most likely you're carrying food outside of your pack. So it's very limited as far as space, your liter space. But some of the perks, it's super light, it's under 10 ounces. But you can get some add-ons onto this, which I have. And I always, on all my Zpacks packs, I like getting the little pocket. I like to put it on the outside of my pack. I know some people put it on the inside of their pack. I prefer outside the pack because I can add in my knife, any like hand sanitizer, my headlamp. I like to keep it on the outside of my pack. So in a pinch at nighttime, instead of digging through all my equipment, it's right there. And then it does have a nice little mesh area where I keep a lot of my belongings, like the rain gear and my toiletries and some snacks out here. One of the things I don't like, it doesn't have a hip belt. Now let's look over here. Now my Super 50 Nero, this I got a hip belt. And you can probably get a hip belt for that pack as well. And you can see one of the things that I do like about the Super Nero 50, it has the vest. But that's a little bit different. It weighs a little bit more. It's like about 5 ounces, 6 ounces more compared to this. If I had to pick either this one, the 38 liter versus my 50 liter, I'm going to go with the 50 liter, especially on longer trips. I always feel like when I'm using this pack, I'm kind of squishing everything inside of like the liter space. It's your limited liter space. Here's a little thing that I bring on all my trips. It's just a little, let you know like what the temperature is. It has a little compass on it. The compass is pretty much dead. But I like to know just based on stats. I mean, it's kind of pointless. Like, I really don't care what the temperature is, but it allows me to kind of like give feedback when I'm out there backpacking, like making YouTube videos. This was a gift from a good friend of mine. He used to make a ton of YouTube videos, and he makes a ton of equipment. I don't know if he still does, but he handcrafted this right here years ago, probably maybe in 2020, 2019, a long time ago, and he gave this to me. And this is what I have to use because this right here doesn't have any like hip pockets or any vest pockets, so I keep some of my like food and camera stuff right in here. So I like this right here. Moving along to the side, I really enjoy the Octa fleece material from Zpacks. It's so breathable, and you'll see it in almost 90% of my new videos because this is a gear that I'm going with. You can kind of see my hand right through this, and I like this. This is the hoodie. It has nice little kangaroo pouch right here. It's a pullover, and it has this nice little fleece material in here that keeps you warm, and it is so breathable. Like, I enjoy sleeping with this, especially after a long day of hiking. This is my go-to because I don't feel all clammy. I'm not getting all that sweat on me. I can actually hike with this. It has thumb holes as well. And I liked it so much that I paired it up with the camp pants. Camp pants are great for sleeping in. It adds that extra warmth that you want. And not to mention, it is so breathable. So I've actually taken this on a lot of my hikes. I took it on one of my long 100-mile backpacking trips. And they're so key because after a long day, you are sweating. And it's nice to hop into something that's breathable. And I believe these are like 5 ounces. And they actually have some swag. So like when you're wearing them, you actually feel like you're, I don't know, kind of stylish. It's kind of nice. I do like them a whole lot. There's no downfall with these. They are breathable. So when you are hiking and say like you're getting cold and you go to wear those, you're going to want to pair them up with, actually, I didn't bring them on this trip. I decided to bring my Cuban fiber stuff. I was going to say pair it up with some wind pants. But that's bringing me over to here. I decided to use a different rain set. This is the sorry, Timmermade. My bad. Timmermade Cuban fiber pullover rain jacket. This weighs about, I want to say like 2 ounces, maybe 3 ounces. It's ultralight. It's supposed to be waterproof, but not a single ultralight rain jacket I've ever used has been waterproof. There's always some leakage going on, and I do experience a little leakage coming through here, but I mean that's going to be typical. And the main takeaway from using a ultralight rain jacket is to stay warm when you're out there backpacking. It acts as a phenomenal windbreaker when you're out there backpacking. And that's not, I'm not trying to say anything bad about Timmermade. That's all ultralight rain jackets I've ever used. And I mean, we're talking about Zpacks. I've used many different rain gear, and it's just, I don't know. I don't think it's meant for staying dry, because you'll stay dry for about maybe 30 minutes, but when you start going into like 1 hour, 2 hours, you're gonna start wetting through. But most important, you stay warm. And when you pair this up with your Octafleece, you get super warm. I decided to use a rain kilt. Now, I don't usually use my rain kilt. This is from Zpacks. It weighs a couple ounces. It's a little bit more weight compared to the Enlighten Equiment rain pants that I usually use. But on warmer trips, these were nice because I did have a lot of ventilation. And I didn't feel like I was getting all like sweaty. And that's one of my main issues, especially hiking in the East Coast in Georgia. There's a ton of humidity that's going on. And I'm hiking through the river. And you just get so hot, and that clammy feeling. It's one of the reasons why in the summertime I head out west, because I can't deal with all that heat and humidity. But great option. I'm not sure what the price is. Again, I'll put all the prices right about here. This is the puffy jacket that I use. This is the yeah, I can speak. Montbell. And I forget the exact model. I'll put it down in the description. This is the lightest. I need to take a break. This is the lightest puff. This is the lightest puff. Oh my god, I need a break. This is the lightest puffy I've seen on the market. It is very bare minimum. It has a fill power of 1000. I've never seen 1000 fill in anything. My quilt is 950, but I've never seen anything else 100. And the price on this is very steep. But in my experience, if you want an ultralight puffy, they're all super expensive. There's some budget ones that you can get out there. But if you want the lightest, you're always paying top dollar. You're almost paying additional $100 for 1 ounce of savings. That's just the way the ultralight gear kind of goes. And it kind of sucks, but I get it. And when I acquired all this stuff, I didn't buy it all at once. You know, like I bought this back in the day, and I bought that back in the day, and I started buying stuff little by little. So I didn't buy it all at once. And this is mainly just for summertime, because if you notice, it doesn't have a hood. And I really enjoy that this has a hood on. I'm sorry. I enjoy my older puppies because they have a hood. And this doesn't have any pockets. I think the newer versions actually have little pockets that you can put your hands in. But very light. I like it. And I wanted to go ultralight. Would I take it again on this trip? Yes. But would I take it on a colder trip? No, because to me, I like to have that protection of the hoodie. And I get a little bit more warmth when I choose a hoodie puffy versus one that's just bare minimum. Okay. Now let's look at all this gear. And this is some additional gear that we'll talk about later, as in maybe something that you can substitute. So this is the hammock gear barrel. This is a 50, and I do like this. This is a sole in box, so all your foot heat actually stays right in here. Nothing escapes. And if you notice, this loft is still really good. This is probably about, let's see, I used this on my thru-hike back in 2019. So this is at least 5 years old. And it still has a lot of loft. I decided to, for one, get the 950 fill. It's a little bit lighter. And I got additional, I think, 2 ounce fill power, just so it could last a little bit longer. I mean, you're paying top dollars on this stuff right here, so you want it to be able to last many years, and they do last. I have a couple hammock gear quilts, and I do love them. And from what I've seen and done research, these are the lightest on the market. In like the price, and then you can go ahead and change the different material. You can get 7 denier, 10 denier, so you can change everything. So you can very like custom make your quilts. So that's another reason why I really enjoy hammock gear. Great stuff. I've been using it for many years. So this is the hammock system that I used, and we're going to talk about the whoopies first. So the whoopies, I'm actually not a big fan of the whoopies. And for the amount of weight savings that you get versus like how practical they are, it's not really practical. And luckily I have my scale right here, so we can actually show. So looking at these together, we're at about 4 ounces. Let me go ahead and put that back on there. Get on there. Okay, about 4.1 ounces, right, for the whoopee systems. And this is what I actually prefer. These are, I get them from Dutch. They're some, I forget the name of these straps, but I like them a whole lot. Look at that. 4.2, so just 0.1 ounce more. And these you can actually get super close. I hope that you watched the whole video so you could actually see that I was trying to make a big point. Like with these, you have to be like so far away from the tree, about 3 feet away from the tree. These you can get very close to the tree, and I believe those are like 7 feet, 8 feet. I know these are about 8 feet. So I definitely recommend these. Not to mention, it was kind of rainy on that trip. And I came home and I did a weight comparison. So I weighed these right here, and I noticed that these weighed less than those. And I think it's because these straps and the am seal, it soaks up more water compared to these. And that's one of the things that they advertise about these straps right here. They don't soak up a lot of water. So good to know. And it comes with these little Dutch little D clips, and then this is the beetle system that I really like. And the beetle system is great for 2 people because you can get a pole and stick it in between right here, so both of you can actually hang on the same tree. So that's another reason why I'm using these over those. So this right here was the hammock that I use, and this is a bare minimum hammock. I believe this is only 10 feet long, which is very small. I don't recommend people over 6 feet. Actually, people over 5'10", I don't recommend using this. This is for smaller people like myself. I'm 5'7", and this actually works for me. And this is light. I think when I measured it, it was about 7 ounces. The downfall with this, if it was a buggy area, this doesn't have a bug net. And that's why I wanted to show you. Let's see, is it this one? I think it's this one right here. I can actually feel. See, that's 10. That's about 10 ounces. Oh yeah, this one's much heavier. So with a couple ounces more, you can get a Dutch wear half wit. And this is actually what I'm going to be taking out west, because I don't know if the bugs are going to be an issue, but if the bugs are going to be an issue, this has a bug net on it, and it's a half of a bug net. And you're like asking yourself, well, why do you want a half of a bug net? Well, because you'd put one half of it actually on you, and then with the remaining body, you go ahead and pair it up with your sleeping bag, so bugs aren't getting to your legs. And then you have the bug net that's covering your whole like torso and up. So that's why I'm a big fan of the Dutch half wit. He doesn't advertise it as much, which is kind of a bummer, because it's such a great hammock. It's only 10 ounces. Okay, so this is the Cuban fiber hammock gear rainfly. This is the standard version, and this I increased all the hardware. And like, if you watched the video, I talked about these right here. I think these are called stingers, and I'm a big fan of these. They're easy to install. You just clip them right on here, and one side you'll have it's like actually sold in, so that's never gonna like fall off. And then you just take this right here, this is your ridge line for your rainfly, and then you can just cinch it around. So hopefully you watch the whole video, so you can actually get a better idea on how to use this. But I also like doing a little compare contrast. This weighs, and now these aren't going to be exact weights because you're going to see like some stuff is hanging, but I do have the exact weights in the description. So this right here is about 9.9 ounces. It's probably about 10. It looks like it's probably touching some stuff. Yeah. It's touching some stuff. Touching some stuff. You can tell that I'm talking a whole lot. But this right here is the Hammock Gear Palace, and they used to call it the Winter Palace. I don't know why they changed it. Maybe because of marketing. But this is actually one of my favorite, and probably enjoy rain tarps. Now this thing does weigh much more, and we're going to weigh it right now, and we'll try to get more of an exact weight. Okay, and that weighs, I hope you can see that, 12 ounces. So this weighs potentially like 2 ounces more, and it covers so much. I actually can use this and pair it up with 2 hammocks if we're on the same trees. And this is what Josmic and I typically use. Like we'll set this up, and I'll hang my hammock right here, and we'll connect to the same tree, and then come back over here, and we're perfectly covered just by using one tarp. So I like the amount of, like, you actually feel like you can stand up and you're not gonna get wet. There's no like you don't feel like you're gonna make an error by setting this up because it's so big. Versus when you use the standard size, you will have to be a little bit more like cautious on how you pitch your rain fly, because some spots are gonna, like, wind's gonna come underneath you. With this right here, wind doesn't come underneath you because it goes down like an additional, I want to say, almost like 18 inches on both sides. And so you get more of a draft with this. And but you know, I've been using that for many years. I just recently bought that, and it's like an additional $100 more. But I just recently bought it for like our hammock gear setup because Josmic has been enjoying the hammock system so much. All right, so this was, yeah, this actually goes right in here. So I usually keep this stuff on the outside of my pack. These are my shepherd hooks. I usually take about 6 of them. They don't weigh a whole lot. I think each one weighs like 1.7. I'm sorry, 1.7, so under 2 ounces each. I like shepherd hooks. I know not everyone enjoys the shepherd hooks, but to me, there's a lot of perks about the shepherd hooks. For one, there's no like messiness. Like when you pull these out of your out of the ground, like there's not a lot of dirt. I've been using the same bag for many years, and if you notice, there's not a lot of dirt. I can do a quick little pinch and the dirt comes off versus the groundhogs. So that's why I kind of avoid using the groundhogs. And if you're in a really like windy spot, or say like the ground is a little saturated and is a little boggy and like muddy or sandy, you can always put this down into something, and then you can put like a rock on top of it. So I'm okay with using these. I didn't display this at all. This is just a deuce of spades trowel. This is what I use for digging my cat holes. There are multiple reasons why I do like this model more than the other models, because I can stick this into a, say, like a stream or to a side of a mountain, and I can get some water coming out off this right here, like a little spigot. So there's another reason why I prefer this one over the other models. And we're gonna skip to, actually no, we'll just go right down the list. So I didn't wear this a whole lot in the video. This is a Zpacks fleece, the Octa Fleece hat. Weighs under an ounce, keeps you warm, but it is pretty breathable, so you might want to pair it up with another hoodie. Okay, but I like it for what I'm doing out here during the summertime and humidity time. I'm taking this, and I'm taking this on my large backpacking trip over the summer. This is just a buff right here. I think it weighs like an ounce, maybe 2 ounces. And this is made out of wool. The reason why I prefer the wool ones over the synthetic ones and the cotton ones, because I will put this over my face. And when I put it over my face, sometimes the other ones start to stink. So this is a little bit better on that little smellage, because I wear this around my neck so often, then I pull it up over my face on those really cold nights. Some darn wool tough socks, and these are amazing. Like, I don't need to say much about them. If you're into backpacking a whole lot, I recommend getting a pair of these because they have a lifetime warranty. I've never used the warranty on some of these. I probably should. There's a couple of them that are getting kind of thin down here, But I mean, I just keep on buying them. They're great socks. I have no complaints about these. My camp shoes. A lot of people either love them or hate them. I used to hate camp shoes till I found the right pair of camp shoes. And I've tried many different kind of camp shoes, and to me this is a total luxury item. You're fine if you just wear like your shoes around camp, and then when you get into your tent or into your hammock, take off your shoes. But I like these because in the middle of the night when I have to use the bathroom, and I usually have to use the bathroom at least once per night, I can just slip these things right on. They have a nice little back area, so it keeps your ankle in, and then you can tighten it, and they're pretty breathable too. So if you're running blisters or you just want to air out your feet, yeah, you're gonna get that too. But there is, like, I don't recommend walking all over with these right here. You can see that I walked on some like twigs or something at one point, and it left a little mark. But yeah, these aren't meant for walking around and actually hiking. You actually don't want to go downhill in these because your feet will just slide straight out. So great for luxury item. They weigh about 2 ounces. Reasonable price for ultralight camp shoes. The other ones I've seen online cost about $50. All right, so over here, this is my Big Sky International cooking pouch. I love this, and it goes on all my backpacking trips. I've used this for about 7 years now, and it's still a usable item. And I think it's only like $13. There's some brands that you can find on Amazon that seem similar. I don't know like how they work because I've never had to replace this. So if I had a choice to either buy this or one of those Amazon ones, I'd probably buy the Big Sky International cooking pouch because I've used this. So I like it a whole lot. Doesn't weigh a whole lot. I think it's 1.6 ounces. And this is my Sawyer. Now I wanted to display this. So you can get a coupler, but you can actually make this. If you look at this is going to help you with your gravity system right here. But this is just 2 soda bottle caps. And I drilled a hole, and then I fused it together with some plastic glue. And you can make your own, because I notice whenever I go online, I actually have a couple of these couplers. So right here is the one that I made, and this is the one that you can buy online. Now they're pretty cheap, and the only issue I have about these is that they're just hard to find. Like, it's really hard to find these on Amazon. I own a couple of them because they're so difficult to find. They're only $3. And there is a difference between using a homemade. So we're looking at 1.6. And so this weighs a little bit more. But the thing is, this isn't going to break. I've had my homemade break in the middle of a backpacking trip, which was not fun because then I had to squeeze everything. So you can make it if you can't find one of these online. This is my running out of, keep on talking. Okay, this is my Swiss Army knife, and the reason why I like this is because of the scissors, and it has these two. This is a little toothpick. Then you have some tweezers, and I've actually used the tweezers before when I was out there in Arizona. Actually, I think it was in Arizona, Grand Canyon. I actually had a friend that had one of those little pointy cactus like thorns going to his boot, so he was able to remove it with this handy tool. I don't need a big knife. Maybe I should, but I'm not really doing much of a buff. Jeez, this is a lot of talking for me. I don't do a whole lot of bushcrafting, so this works perfectly for what I do backpacking. Sea to Summit spoon, plastic. I actually prefer a plastic spoon versus titanium. Sometimes the titanium, like when I put it around in my cup, it just kind of gives off like a little like scraping noise, and I don't like the scraping noise, so I prefer using this. This is my Zing It Bear line. I prefer using the Zing It Bear line because this line right here hardly ever gets stuck in trees. So I'm a big fan of this. Oh, this is my dirty water avenue, and this is the 0.9. I'm still liking this, and the reason why I'm liking this because I can screw this on to my Sawyer, and it acts as a gravity system. And again, this is one of the lightest dirty water bags that I found out there on the market. I always bring some wood burning stuff. I know I didn't make a fire out there, but this is just cotton balls and some Vaseline. Easy to make. They cost maybe like $1 to make. All right, some of my electronics. This is my headlamp. This is a night core, and I do like it. It's rechargeable, but make sure that you replace the strap. The strap I think like weighs like additional 1 ounce. I've had some issues using this before. At times when I've turned it on bright, like the ultra bright, like this right here, and then I go turn it off, and then I go turn it back on. Sometimes it hasn't worked, and I think this is because I had this on for too long and I just killed the battery. But this goes on all my backpacking trips because it is reliable, and when it starts to die, yeah buddy, we got a battery for it. So I bring the Nightcore 10,000 amp battery, and I usually keep it in a bag. And I only brought one battery on this trip because I wasn't going to do a whole lot of filming, and this wasn't a long backpacking trip. But on my longer backpacking trips, like my, say, 100+ mile backpacking trips, and I do a lot of like YouTubing, filming and stuff, so I bring 3 of these, which weighs a lot. So your typical backpacker is not going to bring 3, but I do recommend 1. They're kind of expensive, about $60. Then I have a couple cords that are pretty handy, and there's a C2C cord with an adapter right there. That adapter allows me to plug into my Nightcore. Now this is something that I might do in the future. I might get the new Nightcore rechargeable headlamp with a C connection, because out of all this gear, I think this is the only the only connection that is not a C. Okay, we're saving this stuff for the very end. I use one stuff sack for my pack. I put all this gear right into this stuff sack. So even though that they claim that this material is waterproof, you always want to go ahead and have redundancy and have something else that's going to protect your gear. So I like to keep it into another plastic bag, because the last thing you want is you're down to get wet and have it not work as well. But let me tell you, this right here dries really fast. I'm telling you, you're gonna want to get it. The Octa stuff. All right. And then I have some of my Zpacks toothbrush, small toothpaste. I bring some NyQuil just in case. On all my backpacking trips, I eat beef jerky. And that's why I have the nice little dental floss stuff, chapstick, some ibuprofen, and it is allergy season, so I bring some pills. This is Claritin D, because it gets pretty nasty, especially here in Georgia. Like the whole place will turn yellow from pollen. This is the Zpacks Bear bag that I use, and this is a large version. It is cubic fiber, and it's thick. I've used it for, I want to say, at least 7 years. So the fact that this doesn't have a bunch of holes in it, I'm pretty proud of it. So good material. Going to my stove system, my cook system, I used the 55 milliliter Tokes, and Nothing special about this. It boils about 2 cups of water. Anything more than that is usually too much. But here's my thing. I'm not eating out of this. I'm eating out of usually like a plastic bag, because I'm bringing like Mountain House or ramen, or I'm cooking something, and then I'm boiling water, and then I'm putting it into a plastic bag. So that's how I usually make my foods. I just boil water. So this is just meant for boiling water. So these stoves right here, these stones, this stove. So I actually do like these, but here's the thing. When you fill this up with alcohol, you only get 2 boils. So that means you're required to bring more alcohol than you might plan, because you don't want to make a mistake. And these do, I mean, they're pretty light, and I'm going to tell you why I like these. So 1.8, let's see how much it weighs. So 1.76. Okay, so these are really light. And one of the reasons, main attraction for me to actually buy these, because when you're cooking, you actually don't need a pot stand. Like you don't need anything to put your pot on. Like you just put these right on top of your stones. And when you light these, you can put it on immediately because they're saturated, and the flame actually comes up really nice and hits this can very well. So I like these. Now, we saw in the video, there are some problems with them. And will I be taking these on my longer hikes? No. Even though I have before, and I think I took them on a 70-mile, thank you, 4 or 5 day backpacking trip, maybe 80-mile backpacking trip, and it was fun to play around with, but I just can't figure them out. And I know if I put a little bit more effort into figuring these things out, you will definitely enjoy them. And plus, they're kind of cool. And if you have your, see, like what you would do is you put some alcohol in here, and then these stones will soak it up. But I have got some new stoves coming in the mail, so I'm planning on displaying those, and we'll do a small little comparison with everything. But will I take these on my longer backpacking trips? No, unfortunately, no. I almost forgot this. It's a lot of gear to talk about, and I'm trying to go through all this gear so detailed. So like when you're out there trying to buy your gear, you actually know like what is like some of the pros and cons on everything, because there are pros and cons. You can't always just look at the lightest stuff and be like, that's the best. Or you can't just look at the most expensive stuff and say that's the best. So that's why I make these videos super detailed. So this right here is the 40-degree Phoenix underquilt. And I really like this. Now I can only take it on like during like the spring months and the summer months. And it's pretty expensive, but it's so light. Hammock Gear, they make phenomenal equipment. It's so light. I think it's like 11 or 12 ounces. Very light. Actually, might be even less. They are expensive, but super easy to install. You just take one end and you connect it to one of your hammock sides, and then take the other end. And I used to put it in a stuff sack, but again, I'm trying to get rid of all stuff sacks and just put everything in here. And this makes like this setup and the put away and the takedown so much easier when you have less stuff sacks. Instead of like packing in this or packing in that, you just take it all and just pack it all in together. So we just finished the whole video. It was a long video, I know, but I like to go over all the details on every little thing. I think all this stuff is so important for you to know, and it's a good way for me to kind of reflect on whether if something works or not, because I'm able to take this stuff out and test it out and say what is wrong with some of this stuff, and is it the type of gear that I want to keep on using. And I hope that I displayed everything pretty well, like just with the hammock. Now the hammock is ultralight, but am I going to take it on all my backpacking trips? Well, I can't, because you know, you're dealing with the bugs. I can't take it on all my backpacking trips. But what I can do is add like additional 3 more ounces, and I can get a bug net, well, half of a bug net from Dutch. So there's different little things that I need to keep on and playing with, just like the stove. But anyways, I hope that you enjoyed this video. I know that it was long, and I appreciate look, I can't even talk correctly anymore. I hope that you appreciate me going into the full details, and if you have any suggestions that you want to suggest to me, please let me know. And if there's certain kind of gear, and trust me, I do listen to all the comments. I know some of you have mentioned different pieces of gear inside like the comment list, and I've actually gone out and bought that gear because of your suggestions. So, oh, and look at this new shirt that I'm going to be using on my backpacking trips. Very breathable, but we need to test it a little bit more before me giving like a nice little review on it. Anyways, this is Coach Bill 3 on 5, and I hope that you enjoyed the video.
Yeah, buddy. Subscribe! Yep.
This is beautiful Lingo Gorge area. All rocky.
Yeah, buddy.
It's getting darker.